One careless laugh changed the entire room. A young black belt looked at the quiet woman standing near the edge of the training floor and decided she didn't belong. She looked too calm, too ordinary, and far too old to impress anyone. He smirked, tossed her a pair of training gloves, and said, "Now your turn." What happened next wasn't just about martial arts. It was about respect, courage, and a lesson that nobody in that dojo would ever forget. Sometimes the strongest person in the room isn't the loudest. Sometimes true power hides behind kindness, patience, and years of sacrifice. This is the story of a woman whose greatest victories were never about winning fights, they were about saving lives and teaching others what real strength looks like. Before we begin, welcome to Black Belt Legacy. If you enjoy inspiring martial arts stories filled with heart, honor, and unforgettable lessons, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave a comment telling us what Kung Fu means to you. Your support helps us keep sharing stories that inspire people around the world. Now, let's begin. The Golden Crane Kung Fu Academy had a reputation for producing disciplined martial artists. Every Saturday, students of every age trained together. The air echoed with focused breathing, quick footwork, and the sound of wooden staffs tapping against the floor. Among the students was 21-year-old Tyler. He had earned his black belt only 6 months earlier. He was talented, fast, and incredibly confident. Unfortunately, his confidence had slowly become pride. Tyler believed that anyone who walked into the school should prove themselves immediately. If they looked inexperienced, he quietly judged them before they even stepped onto the mat. That morning, the front door opened, and a woman in her early 40s walked inside. She carried a worn gym bag and wore a simple gray sweatshirt. Her movements were relaxed, and she smiled politely as she greeted everyone. Few people noticed her. Master Liang welcomed her warmly. "Everyone," he said, "this is Sarah. She's visiting today." Tyler glanced at her and whispered to another student, "She doesn't exactly look like a fighter." The other student shrugged, but Tyler couldn't hide his grin. Warm-ups began. Sarah quietly joined everyone. She stretched with perfect balance, moved smoothly, and never tried to draw attention to herself. Master Liang watched carefully but said nothing. Later, students paired up for technique drills. Tyler couldn't resist making another comment. "You sure you're ready for this?" he asked Sarah with a smile that wasn't friendly. She simply nodded. "I'll do my best." Her calm answer somehow annoyed him even more. When the class gathered for friendly sparring demonstrations, Tyler volunteered first. He performed several flashy combinations that earned applause from newer students. Feeling proud, he looked toward Sarah. "Now your turn." Several students laughed quietly. Sarah looked at Master Liang. "If that's all right." The master smiled. "Please." Sarah stepped onto the mat. She bowed respectfully. Tyler bounced confidently on his feet. "Don't worry," he said. "I'll go easy." Sarah smiled. "I appreciate that." The match began. Tyler rushed forward with speed. Sarah moved only a few inches. His kick sliced through empty air. He spun immediately into another attack. Again, she wasn't there. No wasted movement. No panic. Just calm. The room became silent. Tyler attacked again and again. Every strike missed by the smallest distance. Sarah never looked rushed. She simply understood timing. After nearly 30 seconds, Tyler was breathing harder. Frustrated, he threw a powerful punch. Sarah gently redirected his arm. Using almost no visible force, she guided his balance forward until he found himself kneeling on one knee. She immediately stepped back. She didn't strike. She didn't celebrate. She simply bowed. Everyone stared. Tyler blinked in disbelief. "What? How?" Master Liang smiled. The lesson is over. Tyler stood, embarrassed. I got lucky, he muttered. Sarah quietly shook her head. No. You fought well. The class ended soon afterward, but curiosity filled the room. One student finally asked the question everyone was thinking. Where did you learn to move like that? Sarah hesitated. I've trained Kung Fu for over 25 years. The students exchanged surprised looks. Then another asked, have you ever competed? Sarah smiled softly. Not much. Master Liang gently added, tell them the rest. Sarah looked uncomfortable. I served in the United States Navy. The room grew quiet. I was a Navy SEAL combat medic attached to special operations teams. Nobody spoke. Tyler felt his face turn red. She continued. My job wasn't about fighting. It was about bringing people home alive. She described treating wounded teammates under dangerous conditions. She spoke about carrying injured soldiers through darkness, making life-or-death decisions in seconds, and staying calm while chaos surrounded her. She never described herself as a hero. Instead, she kept talking about teamwork. About discipline. About responsibility. She explained that Kung Fu had helped her remain focused during moments when fear could have taken over. The movements matter, she said, but the mind matters even more. Tyler listened carefully. For the first time all morning, he wasn't thinking about winning. He was thinking about character. Before leaving, Sarah walked over to him. I hope I didn't embarrass you. Tyler lowered his eyes. I'm the one who should apologize. She smiled kindly. We all have something to learn. The following Saturday, Tyler arrived earlier than anyone else. He helped clean the training floor. He welcomed new students. When an older beginner entered the dojo looking nervous, Tyler walked over with a smile. I'm Tyler. The man smiled back. I'm not very athletic. That's okay, Tyler replied. None of us started as experts. Master Liang watched from across the room. He nodded quietly. Weeks later, Sarah returned for another visit. This time, the atmosphere felt different. Nobody judged her appearance. Everyone greeted her warmly. Tyler bowed deeply. Thank you for what you taught me. Sarah looked surprised. I don't remember teaching a class. You taught one without realizing it. She smiled. Training began. Sarah demonstrated how controlled breathing could improve balance. She showed that power came from relaxation instead of tension. She explained that real martial artists don't seek fights. They seek peace. The strongest punch, she said, is often the one you never throw. Those words stayed with Tyler long after she left. Months passed. He became one of the academy's most respected assistant instructors. Not because he was the fastest. Not because he won every match. But because every new student felt welcome. He encouraged children who lacked confidence. He respected older beginners. He reminded advanced students that every black belt was once a white belt. One afternoon, Master Liang handed Tyler a folded piece of paper. Inside was a short handwritten message from Sarah. It read, Strength earns respect for a moment. Kindness earns respect for a lifetime. Never stop practicing both. Tyler folded the note carefully and placed it inside his training bag, where he kept it every day. Years later, when students asked him about the most skilled martial artist he had ever met, they expected stories about famous champions. Instead, he always spoke about a quiet woman who walked into a dojo wearing a gray sweatshirt. A woman who never needed to prove how strong she was. A woman who had already faced battles far greater than any sparring match. And a woman who reminded everyone that the true spirit of Kung Fu isn't about defeating others. It's about mastering yourself, protecting those around you, and choosing humility over pride every single day. If this story touched your heart, remember that every person you meet may be carrying a story you cannot see. Treat others with respect, train with humility, and let Kung Fu become more than a martial art. Let it become a way of living with courage, compassion, discipline, and honor. Share this story with someone who believes that true strength begins with kindness, and together, let's keep the spirit of Kung Fu alive for generations to come.